Imagine this. You're on an unforgettable African safari. The warm sun beating down on you as you trek through the wilderness. The air is thick with the sounds of nature, until out of nowhere a massive 3,000-pound hippo charges from the water, its jaws snapping. You're frozen in fear as this unpredictable beast rushes towards you. What do you do? How do you survive an encounter like this? Stick with us, because in today's episode of Savage Tales Animal Encounters, we're diving deep into the most shocking and dangerous animal attacks that could happen on a safari, and what you need to know to stay safe. But don't worry, we're not just here to scare you. We've got the survival secrets, expert tips and real-life encounters to keep you one step ahead in the wild. Welcome back to Savage Tales Animal Encounters. If you're new here, this is the channel where we explore the wild side of life, bringing you up close and personal with the planet's most dangerous and awe-inspiring creatures. From the deep jungles to the vast savannas, we uncover the stories behind animal attacks, the science of survival, and the untold tales of what happens when humans meet the wild face to face. In today's episode, we're talking about one of the most dangerous animals on Earth, the hippopotamus. Despite their seemingly docile nature, hippos are responsible for more deaths in Africa than lions, and they're known for their terrifying speed, power, and aggression. We'll explore a chilling true story of a woman who tragically lost her life in a hippo attack on an African safari. But we're not just focusing on the horror. We'll dive into the steps you can take to avoid such deadly encounters and what makes hippos so unpredictable in the wild. This episode is a must-watch for anyone planning a safari or just curious about the world's most savage creatures. Before we dive into the adventure, don't forget to hit that like button if you're ready for the wildest journey of your life. Comment below with your thoughts. Have you ever had a close call with an animal in the wild? Share this video with your fellow thrill seekers so we can spread these life-saving tips far and wide. And of course, subscribe to Savage Tales Animal Encounters if you haven't already. Make sure to ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode packed with animal facts, survival tips and heart-stopping real-life stories. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up next. Enjoy the ride, and remember, the wild is always watching. It was a typical sunny morning on the African safari, and Lisa and Craig Manders were eager to explore the untamed wilderness of Zambia. Their 10-day journey through the heart of Africa had already been filled with breathtaking views, awe-inspiring wildlife sightings, and moments of serenity. But little did they know, the most harrowing experience of their trip was about to unfold. On this particular day, they were embarking on a guided bushwalk, a thrilling yet intense adventure that would take them on foot through the African savannah. They were joined by a small group of fellow travelers, along with two experienced guides who were seasoned in navigating the wild. The guides were armed and well-trained, ensuring that the group had the best chance of remaining safe during this exhilarating yet risky excursion. As they trekked along, the sounds of the wild echoed all around them. The distant calls of birds, the rustling of leaves in the wind, and the occasional hoot of a monkey. The air was warm, the scent of earth and grass filling their senses as they followed the narrow trail through the dense underbrush. Lisa and Craig, along with the rest of the group, were filled with a sense of adventure and wonder. The landscape was magnificent. Vast stretches of golden grasses stretching as far as the eye could see, dotted with acacia trees and the occasional grazing antelope. The group made their way towards a riverbank where they paused to take in the view. The calm river shimmered under the midday sun, a peaceful oasis amidst the wild terrain. It was at this point that the guides noticed something unusual: shadows moving beneath the water just out of sight. As the group grew closer, the guides warned everyone to stay alert, though they appeared calm and composed. They reassured Lisa and the others that they were simply observing the river, keeping a respectful distance from the wildlife. However, unbeknownst to the group, they were inching closer to one of the most territorial and dangerous creatures on the planet, the hippopotamus. Hippos are often mistaken for docile creatures due to their seemingly peaceful grazing habits, but in reality, they are incredibly aggressive, especially when they feel threatened. The guides, aware of the presence of hippos in the water, continued to advise the group to stay within a safe distance. They gave gentle reminders to stay close to the trees and avoid standing too close to the water's edge. Despite these precautions, the group couldn't help but marvel at the river's beauty. unaware of the deadly presence lurking just beneath the surface. At that moment, the atmosphere felt deceptively calm. The sounds of nature surrounded them, the chirping of birds, the rustle of leaves in the wind, and the rhythmic flow of the river. Lisa, feeling the thrill of the safari, smiled at her husband, Craig, as they shared the experience. It was a moment of pure connection with the wild, where time seemed to stand still. But in the distance, something else was quietly stirring. The massive, hulking form of the hippo submerged beneath the water began to stir. Its eyes, ears and nostrils poked out above the water's surface, observing the humans who had unknowingly wandered into its territory. Hippos are known for their territorial instincts, especially when it comes to their riverside domain. This particular hippo had been quietly watching the group, its massive body barely noticeable in the still waters. However, something was about to break the stillness of the moment, a primal shift in the air. Without warning, the hippo's enormous head broke the surface, its nostrils flaring as it lifted its massive jaws. The group, still unaware of the impending danger, was about to discover just how fast the situation could escalate in the blink of an eye. And then it happened. In a split second, the calm of the river shattered as the massive hippopotamus launched itself from the water. It moved with terrifying speed, its powerful legs propelling its nearly 3,000-pound body toward the unsuspecting group. Lisa and Craig, still standing at the edge of the riverbank, had no time to react. The guides, who had been watching the situation closely, yelled at the group to move, but it was already too late. Before anyone could make a move, the hippo's enormous head surged toward Lisa. Its jaw, capable of crushing bones with ease, opened wide. With a bone-shaking roar, the hippo's mouth closed around Lisa's body, gripping her with a force that seemed to come from the earth itself. The power of the bite was unimaginable. The once peaceful moment turned into pure chaos as the creature's massive jaws shook with ferocity, lifting Lisa off the ground and into the air. It was a horrifying sight. Lisa was helpless, caught in the vice-like grip of one of the most dangerous creatures on the planet. Craig, stunned and paralyzed by the horror unfolding before him, watched in disbelief as the hippo's mouth moved rapidly, shaking Lisa's body with terrifying force. The sound of her screams, though muffled by the chaos, echoed through the air as the guides scrambled to react. But in a cruel twist of fate, they too were unprepared for the sheer ferocity of the attack. The guides, who were armed, began to back away in a panic, their rifles now useless in the face of such a brutal and unrelenting force of nature. Their attempt to flee, to save themselves, left Lisa vulnerable and alone in the jaws of the monstrous animal. The group's panic was palpable. Some members of the group attempted to run, while others simply froze in place, unable to comprehend what was happening. Craig, gripped by terror and helplessness, reached out to his wife, but the hippo's hold on her was unyielding. Lisa's body was violently tossed like a rag doll as the hippo continued its brutal attack, crushing her skull and body with every movement. Her survival instincts kicked in, but there was no escape. The sheer force of the hippo's bite was like nothing the guides had encountered before. They could do nothing but watch in horror as Lisa fought for her life against the overwhelming power of the animal. Time seemed to stand still as the seconds stretched into eternity. The guides, still in shock, finally attempted to intervene, but their actions were too late. The hippo's grip remained steadfast, and Lisa's body grew limp in its jaws. With one final, deafening shake, the animal tossed Lisa aside, its blood-soaked teeth gleaming in the sunlight as it turned and retreated back into the river. The aftermath of the attack was catastrophic. Lisa's body lay motionless on the riverbank, her injuries severe and fatal. Craig, still reeling from the terror and the shock, rushed to her side, but it was clear that she was beyond saving. The guides, who had finally regained their composure, immediately called for help, but it was too late. The brutal attack had claimed Lisa's life in mere minutes, leaving her family and fellow travelers stunned and devastated. The shockwave of grief hit Craig with the full force of the tragedy. His wife, the mother of their 3 children, was gone. The woman who had been full of life, joy and adventure, whose smile had lit up the safari, was now lifeless at his feet. The once peaceful river, now stained with the horror of the attack, seemed to mock the unpreparedness of those who had been caught in its grip. In the wake of the attack, the safari guides and the group's tour leaders were left grappling with the unthinkable. How could they have failed to prevent this? How could they have not recognized the signs of danger sooner? The animal, though known for its territorial aggression, had never before attacked in such a manner during the tour's history. The sheer unpredictability of the hippo's actions, its sudden charge and the chaos that followed left everyone shaken to their core. As the reality of Lisa's death set in, the group, along with Craig, was escorted back to the lodge. The journey, once filled with excitement and adventure, now felt like a haunting nightmare. Craig's mind raced with the horrifying memories of that day. The helplessness, the fear, the loss, the tragedy would remain etched in his memory forever. Back at the lodge, a dark silence fell over the group. The death of a loved one, especially in such a violent and unexpected manner, shattered the mood of the once joyful safari. Craig, still in shock, had to make the unbearable decision to contact their family back home and inform them of the unspeakable tragedy. The woman they all knew as the loving mother of three had been taken by the unforgiving jaws of nature. As the news spread, the tour company, along with local authorities, began to investigate the incident. The tour guides and lodge staff, who had been trained to handle such situations, faced difficult questions about whether they could have done more to prevent the attack. The investigation would reveal the unsettling truth. Lisa's death was a horrific reminder of the unpredictable and dangerous nature of wildlife, especially when that wildlife is as powerful and territorial as a hippopotamus. Wow, what a heart-wrenching and intense journey we've just been on together. From the beauty of the African wilderness to the devastating power of nature, this episode has truly shown us how unpredictable and dangerous the wild can be. Our hearts go out to Lisa Manders' family, and we hope this tragic story serves as a reminder of the raw power of the animals we share this planet with. If you found today's video eye-opening, please take a moment to hit that like button and show your support. Comment below and let us know your thoughts on the dangers of wildlife encounters. Have you ever been on a safari or experienced a close call in the wild? We'd love to hear your stories. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Spreading awareness about the unpredictable nature of animals is important for keeping everyone safe when exploring the wild. If you're new to the Savage Tales Animal Encounters family, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another wild story. And of course, don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're the first to know when our next thrilling episode drops. We've got more jaw-dropping tales, survival tips, and shocking animal facts coming your way. Thanks again for watching, and as always, stay safe, stay curious, and respect the wild, because you never know what could happen when nature takes its course. Until next time, keep your eyes wide open and remember Savage Tales Animal Encounters, where the untamed meets the unbelievable.